Step 1, communication. Before we can talk about anything else, we need to understand the concept of communication. Communication is the way we create a pathway to exchange ideas between two beings. And so it's an essential skill set to be able to work and live together harmoniously. Let's start with ironing out the difference between dog and human communication methods. Both species rely on a variety of tools to express themselves. For us humans, verbal communication is the most recognizable way we transfer ideas. But if we look closer, we can observe that there are additional tools at work that give more meaning to what we're trying to say. Think about those times when you intuitively recognize that somebody is nervous or uneasy without them actually telling us that they are. Most likely, your brain registered a change in body language, pitch, tone of voice, or your nose picked up on pheromones without explicitly telling you so. In dogs, however, vocal communication is occasional at best, and usually it only serves as an expression of excitement or arousal, and it's more common in puppies who are just trying to let their mother know what they need. We physically experience emotions, but sometimes those feelings in our physical body can be less obvious. Most of dog communication actually happens by picking up the pheromones that are related to the emotional state that the people and dogs around them are in. The precision to detect changes in blood sugar, cancer cells, and odorless narcotics is based on a sense of smell that's strong enough for the dog to be able to rely on to interact with their environment. Spoken language can be contorted or abstained from to change our communication, but we can't hide the pheromones that we're communicating based on our emotional state. When we don't feel understood or can't understand another, we tend to get stuck in a state of frustration and confusion. I want us to get to a position where we can avoid getting stuck, and the first thing that we need to do is to simplify things for everyone involved. If we follow the normal communication development of both children and puppies, we can observe that nature has a beautiful way of breaking down this complex ability into incremental steps. So we should look to do the same when bridging the interspecies communication gap. Now, what does that look like? First, our intention should be focused on making communication as clear and straightforward as possible. The way we can approach this is by giving our attention and thereby creating a connection around the behaviors that we want to repeat, the things that are desirable. And we want to remove our attention, thereby creating a boundary from things that are unwanted. When you're frustrated, yelling or grabbing your dog might feel like an instinctual response. The problem with that approach is that usually results in one of two undesirable outcomes. Either the pressure that you used was not enough so that the dog is reinforced by just the attention you're giving them, or the pressure that you apply is so much that the dog is overwhelmed, and rather than learning, the dog shuts down. In the interest of preserving the quality of your relationship with your dog, we want to first start by preserving the quality of your interactions with your dog rather than the quantity of time that you're spending with your dog, especially for a young, untrained puppy. If the interactions with your dog are enjoyable, we want to mark that and reward that and tell the dog how great they're being for what they're accidentally doing on their own. If the behavior is not ideal, we want to pull the plug on that habit as quickly as possible. And we can do this by giving as little attention as possible to that behavior. So we can remove the dog with as calm, non-emotional nonchalance as possible and give them a break from your attention. And then after a short break, we can bring the dog back into the environment and give them another opportunity. If the same unwanted behavior presents itself again, we repeat as needed until the dog learns that that behavior doesn't get a response and that the desirable behaviors do get our attention. We create a dynamic where all of the attention is only coming for the desirable behaviors and there's no more attention for the unwanted behaviors, so they die off as habits. This approach is not about letting dogs do what they want. When people hear positive reinforcement, sometimes they think that means you let the dog choose everything in life. What we're doing is we're setting boundaries so that the only option the dog does choose are the desirable ones. Rather than attempting to just tell your dog what to do all the time, we're making the dynamic about rewarding them and commending them for the choices that they made already on their own.